Welcome to Finance Flashback, brought to you by ICICI Prudential Mutual Fund. This is the podcast where history's financial lessons come alive, helping you make smarter money choices today. I'm your host Paritosh, and today we're tackling one of the cornerstones of financial success, budgeting. Now, if budgeting sounds a bit dry, stay with me. Think of it as crafting a financial roadmap that directs where each rupee goes instead of wondering where it went. It's not just about limiting expenses, but about defining priorities and setting yourself up for financial stability and growth. Sounds straightforward, right? But today, we'll bring it to life with stories from history that show how budgeting can be inspiring and powerful. Let's start with a fun fact. The term budget comes from the Latin word bulga, meaning a leather bag. It originally referred to the bag and its contents, just as a budget includes both your income and your spending plans. So, let's dive in with our first example. Lesson number 1. Setting goals with a purpose. In ancient India, Chanakya, the mastermind behind the Maurya Empire, knew the importance of purposeful resource management. His economic treatise, the Arthashastra, laid out detailed budgets for the empire, not for penny pinching but for building strength and prosperity. Every rupee had a purpose, whether for military strategy, public works, or even education. Just like Chanakya, we too need clear goals to make budgeting purposeful. Whether it's saving for a home, funding a child's education, or planning a vacation, defining your goals gives your budget direction. In today's world, mutual funds can play a pivotal role in this. For example, a systematic investment plan or SIP lets you contribute regularly towards these goals, turning small savings into substantial investments over the time. Once you have your goals, the next step is tracking your spending. Now, this might sound a little tedious, but tracking helps identify where you can cut back and where you might redirect funds towards savings or investments. Lesson number 2. Track and categorize for success. The 50-30-20 budget rule is a popular approach that helps streamline this. Here's how it works. Number 1. 50% of your income for needs like housing, food and transportation, 30% for wants like dining out or entertainment, and 20% for savings and investments. Now, this approach not only brings clarity but also encourages balance. It prevents overspending on wants by assigning a dedicated percentage. To bring this lesson to life, let's talk about Hosea Wedgwood, the 18th century father of modern pottery. Wedgwood was meticulous in tracking his expenses. He categorized every penny that he spent, from clay purchases to worker wages, helping him strategically grow his pottery business. His detailed budgeting allowed him to invest wisely in equipment and training, leading to long-term success. Like Wedgwood, breaking down your expenses into fixed costs, variable costs, and discretionary spending can give you insights into where you can cut back or reallocate. And if you want to ensure that your savings are put to good use, you can choose to invest them in different options such as Public Provident Fund or PPF, stock market, gold, etc. You can also consider investing in balanced mutual fund schemes which invest across asset classes like equity, debt, and gold for a more diversified approach. After tracking your expenses, it's important to balance them with your income. Remember, budgets should be flexible to accommodate life's ups and downs. Now, lesson number 3. Adjust for changing income. The English budget process introduced in the 18th century offers an important lesson here. To control government spending, England started a practice of updating their budget annually based on their changing income and needs. This annual reassessment kept their finances stable even during economic shifts. Similarly, a personal budget shouldn't be static. If you get a raise, consider directing a portion to your 20% savings category rather than inflating your lifestyle costs. Increase your SIP, top up an emergency fund, or explore equity mutual fund schemes for potential growth over the time. This approach, often called as lifestyle inflation, keeps you on track even as your earnings grow. Now, lesson number 4. Building a financial safety net. Next, Let's look at 17th century Japan under the Tokugawa shogunate, where careful planning was crucial. The shoguns established rice reserves, Japan's primary currency at the time, to withstand poor harvests and economic crisis. This safety net enabled them to handle emergencies without financial disruption. A financial safety net today can look like an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. You can also consider liquid mutual funds, which are low risk, easily accessible, and may provide stable returns. Ideal for emergency reserves. And for a more robust backup, hybrid funds or asset allocation funds can act like a cushion that's adaptable across market conditions, offering stability and growth potential. Let's wrap up with a few actionable tips inspired from our historical examples and modern financial tools. Number 1, define clear goals. Number 2, use the 50-30-20 rule. Number 3, adjust regularly. Number 4, build a buffer. And number 5, separate wants from needs. With this, thank you for tuning into Finance Flashback, where history's budgeting lessons remind us that financial planning is about more than numbers. It's about building a secure and a prosperous future. I'm Paritosh, and until next time, remember, budgeting is your roadmap, and each step brings you closer to your financial success. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.